All right, it's time to review the markets from this week. Eric Osterhaus is here with us at Paragon Ag Advisors. We're right here in the office. Well, we started off, I think it was Tuesday, we saw a nice rally in the wheat market, and I thought, boy, here we go. Then we gave it all back on Wednesday. Now, is there anything for this wheat market to hold on to now?
At the moment, I'd like to point out a few positive notes, but at the moment, it just doesn't seem like it's there. The wheat bulls, if you want to talk about who's selling into this wheat market, I don't think the average producer is out there actively selling. So obviously, it looks like the funds. And the funds have added to their net short positions. And again, even today, we saw more positions coming in. So it seems to be everybody's favorite to jump on right at the moment. Until we get to coming out of dormancy, it just doesn't seem like we have much for the wheat to build on. The saying that we've been using around the office is, as long as we have wheat, it's too much. And so it seems like at the moment we still have wheat, so we got too much.
Yeah. Let's switch gears here and talk a little bit, because we're still waiting to see what happens with planting intentions at the end of the month. We still got a lot of variables right now. But I want to focus on this cattle market. We got so close to 130. We've gone up and tested 129. We've tried to go a little bit north of that. Some say now there's such a big ceiling, so much resistance at 130 that if we get there, we're not going to stay there long. But yet I saw some cash cattle trade for delivery later on in the month in March that traded at 130. So is there any impetus for this futures market to follow?
I really think there is. I mean, you've got plenty of positive news, at least from the demand side of the equation. That continues to be strong. Everybody's looked for a reason to sell this. They have. And everybody's looked at the weekly charts as an example. Everybody knows the technicals, and 130 is the number. We've traded there. We've had reasons to sell off, and it just seems to refuse to. And maybe it's going to take the grilling season coming up or some other news to push us through there on that demand side. Now, don't get me wrong. I know last year was at this time, I think we started our little slide last year. Yeah. So that's in the back of everybody's mind. But it seems like just a little bit more on the cash trade. If we can just brush through that top end of the number, I think you flush a few of those stops out, and you probably see the market make that next move higher.
Well, the retail market has been strong. We've been keeping the weights under check because of the cold weather. We've had a little bit of death loss. But the weather's starting to straighten out now.
True.
Maybe that'll help with grilling a little bit. I suppose, well, it's just kind of one of those deals. Some of this is going to depend on the economy and how good the consumer feels about themselves, right?
Yes, and that is part of the concern. But then one of the other things we've been seeing, it seems like the higher choices of cuts and meats have been in demand. And even that, despite the fact that at least recently the stock market has taken a little bit of slide. And that is something that we do have to watch. I mean, it was interesting seeing the dollar making a I think the highest close since early in 2017, that weighing on the stock market. There may be some concerns regarding the European economics that's going on over there and how that relates back to also China slumping. So there are some concerns out there, don't get me wrong, but it seems like, at least from the demand side of the equation so far, it seems pretty strong for that meat market.
So if you're a producer and you're looking at these feeder numbers here also then, feeders have been just kind of stuck at a range for quite a while.
Yeah, and we're finally starting to see a little bit. We've actually been in a channel to the upside here for the last couple of months, but this weather has just held us back. I mean, it's been so difficult to build demand and get anybody to want to go out there and buy feeders when you're 9 degrees, followed by rain, followed by snow, followed by ice, followed by more cold. So I think eventually, I'm assuming spring will show up. Maybe spring will actually spring here at some point. And once that does, I think you might see some demand come in and get us a nice little push there in the feeders.
Does pork factor into this if we would get an agreement with China, you think?
I think so. That's a dangerous one to predict because it is dependent so much on that Chinese trade deal and the fact that we just never quite seem to get there. But, it does seem, at least at the moment, that the hog market has maybe tried to form that bottom, that near-term bottom, and build from that. If we can see some demand, some positive news from the trade deal, and more importantly, ship some pork overseas, I think you'd probably see that market move higher as well.
Well, again, here we go all the way back to an agreement with China, and that plays in all of these ags.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right. If somebody wants to find out more about how to get a hold of Paragon Ag Advisors, maybe get some insight, what's the best way to do it?
Best way, give us a call, 888-452-8751.
All right. Very good. Eric Osterhaus with us here on Paragon Ag Advisors on this portion. Be sure and stick around because we've got more coming up. We still have to get to the Field to Fork segment as well. So don't go anywhere. We've got more just around the corner here on KSN's Agribusiness Weekly.